Hey y'all, what's up? I am in my kitchen dealing with my new problem. And it is a problem I'm so excited to have. It is the fact that I'm getting about 2 gallons of milk a day right now with our new Jersey cow Hope on our farm. And 2 gallons a day is a lot of milk. As you can see, I've got this right now in these 1 gallon jars. You can imagine, that means a week's worth of milk could pretty much fill up an entire refrigerator. And so I'm having to, at least every other day, make something out of milk, because even though I do have 5 boys that can get through a lot of this, obviously we're not getting through this much by just drinking it. I did a video a long time ago. It was at our old house before we remodeled the kitchen. This is how I keep up with things. It's like on the timeline. And I showed how to make mozzarella, and I did show it out of goat's milk because that's the milk we had on our farm at the time, and out of store-bought pasteurized cow's milk. Now this milk is raw. This is from our cow. This is from our milking yesterday. And I'm about to make some ricotta out of this. Now you can make ricotta out of store-bought milk as well. I've done that many times. Ricotta is super easy. Making it at home is like, it's probably one of the easiest cheeses you can make. I just put 2 gallons of milk on the stove on like medium heat, and I'm gonna slowly heat that to 200 degrees. So Maya is the 3rd of 9 kids, and he grew up really poor. And so there are a few things that he does not like eating. And I mean, they grew up eating a lot of casseroles, like potato-based casseroles, a lot of pasta casseroles, and they ate a lot of lasagna. That was kind of one of the basic foods that, obviously having 9 kids and a lower budget, that his mom made and they ate a lot of. Because of that, I've never really cooked lasagna until the last few years, and I started making it with cheeses that I made at home. And sometimes I'll even go as far as to make the pasta. I'm actually not gonna do that today. I have some store-bought pasta I'm gonna make. But I'm making lasagna for dinner, and he actually will eat this lasagna. It's the first lasagna he's ever really liked in his life. I have found, even before I had our own cow's milk, or before I had like fresh raw pastured cow's milk, just buying store-bought milk and making my ricotta at home really set the lasagna apart, because homemade ricotta is just really, really good. All right, so my milk is getting really frothy and foamy, and it's getting kind of close to boiling. Basically, by heating to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 93 Celsius, we're just coming right under a boil. I have seen ricotta recipes that tell you to just boil the milk, but then I've also seen some that say make sure you don't let it come to a boil, so I always just do 200 degrees. And it gets this real bubbly, frothy look. What makes homemade ricotta so great is that it is a cheese that you can make pretty much with stuff that you have at your house. So for every gallon milk, you need some sort of acid to cause the cream, or the whey, to separate from the curds. And you can do that with, for a gallon of milk, it's gonna be 2/3 a cup of lemon juice, or 2/3 a cup of vinegar, or a teaspoon of citric acid. Now, I'm actually gonna use citric acid today because I have cheese making supplies, but that's kind of one of those things that you might not have on hand, and lemon juice or white vinegar work just fine. So now my milk just, let's see, yeah, we're right at 200. So I'm gonna pull this off the heat, and I'm just gonna put in my 2 teaspoons of citric acid, and I'm also going to put in just a few teaspoons of salt. The effect of this is almost instantaneous. I'm trying to show you without fogging up my camera lens. You see how the curds are already starting to separate from the whey there. Some cheeses, you need rennet or calcium chloride, and then, you know, different molds or presses. But I love that with ricotta and really like soft farmer's cheeses, you can make those really easily. And it's not overwhelming. A lot of people feel really overwhelmed by cheese making, and it's really not overwhelming. All right, so I'm gonna show you real quick what this looks like, and then we're gonna leave it alone for 10 minutes. So within just less than a minute of putting the acid in the milk, we're seeing like a really distinctive separation of the curds and whey. Now I'm gonna leave it alone. We just wanna let this sit and rest off the heat for 10 minutes. I'm gonna put a bowl here in the sink and line a colander with some cheesecloth. Now the thing with ricotta is you can use it in different ways, and you may want your ricotta to be more wet and loose, or you can strain most of the whey off, like let it really drain out and have it drier. Now this ricotta is going in lasagna, so I really want it to be very dry because I don't want it you know, pulling up with the extra whey in my lasagna. Whey has a bunch of uses. Whenever you are using any sort of milk product and you're making cheese, you're gonna end up with whey, which is the byproduct. Some people will tell you to like keep it and put it in smoothies and do all these different things. I just don't have a way to get through that much of it. So at the very least, I keep it and we'll like give it to our pigs. But you can use it to kickstart like lacto fermentation. You can use it in smoothies. You can use it in place of water in any sort of like bread making recipes, or just anything like you're making pancakes, you're making biscuits, where you would put water and put the whey in. You can use it that way. So it is valuable. It has a lot of uses. You definitely don't want to just pour it down the sink. The other thing is that whenever you're straining your ricotta out, having the whey reserved so that you can add some back in if you accidentally let it get drier than you really want, that's also a good thing to do. So I'm just gonna pour this into the colander over the bowl so that we can save our whey. All right, so your pot of curds and whey should look something like this. You got your nice white curds and this yellow whey. And pour it into something. My bowl's not big enough to hold all of this. All right. So I can lift this up out of the whey. All right, I'm actually just gonna set this over the pot. And you can take this and tie it up in the cheesecloth. I'm just gonna do this so it's out of the way. And if you wanted to speed the process, you could kind of try to squeeze it, but truly, I've got other things to do and I'm not in any rush, so sitting this here and letting it strain this way for the next hour or so will be sufficient. And that's literally it. If you wanted like a wetter ricotta, you could just strain it how it is. Like this in itself is already probably strained enough to be used as like a real wet ricotta. I love ricotta cheese. Ricotta can be sweet, like you can put sweetener and like strawberries with it. It's really good. Mix it with like mascarpone and make desserts with it. Or like I'm gonna be putting that in lasagna today. And that's pretty much it. It's super easy. And I'm gonna let this cool off till it's a little easier to handle, and this will probably go to my pigs right now. When you have a cow on your farm and you have so much milk to deal with, one of the ways that we are dealing with it, having a lot of byproducts like whey, I mean, if I'm making cheese every few days, I'm ending up with a lot of whey. But we also have 5 little piglets out there and more on the way, and we have older meat pigs, and we just pour that into a big bowl for them and they devour it. So, you know, kind of the closed loop of using everything on the farm. It's really nice. And it's nice that even though that's a byproduct of my kitchen, it's not going to waste. Hey you guys, I shot this video like a week ago and I just got on to edit it and realized that I did not sign off and finish the video. So I just wanted to wrap it up. I do want to be really clear. You can use goat's milk, you can use store-bought cow's milk. Typically, if you are going to make cheese at home, you can use pasteurized store-bought cow's milk. However, it does best if you use whole milk and also not ultra pasteurized. So if it's the shelf stable stuff, you can try it and it may work, especially for something like ricotta, which is just really simply separating the curds from the whey. But my experience is it really does best with just regular pasteurized whole cow's milk. If you can get non-homogenized, that's probably even better. But I've made a lot of ricotta out of just the basic whole pasteurized cow's milk from the store. What is your favorite kind of cheese to make at home? Leave a comment down below, and I hope that this helps you guys and you enjoy doing it. I bless you guys. Till next time.